Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of EatTheBlocks. Today we're going to set up our development environment for developing Ethereum smart contract. So before we go any further, I'd like you to make sure that you already have Nodejs installed, and if possible, it'll be better if you have installed the latest version, which is at the time of this recording is 8.9.0, and by the way, this version is a LTS, which means a long time support, which means that it's stable and good to use for production. So if you want to make sure that you won't have any problem with the next tutorials, you can just install this version or upgrade your current version to this version. Next, we need a programming language to compile our smart contract into bytecode that the Ethereum virtual machine can understand. There are different options, but by far the most popular is a programming language called Solidity. Solidity has a main implementation written in C++, but for our convenience, it's also embedded in different programming language, including JavaScript and Nodejs. So we're just going to use a npm package. So we're going to jump to our console here. Okay, and we're going to install the Solidity compiler for Node.js. So type npm install -j and then sol c, which is the name of the npm package for the Solidity compiler. So I've already installed it on my computer, so you're not going to see anything spectacular. So wait a bit. So one important thing to note here is that I specify to use the global flag so that you can use the Solidity compiler for different projects, and you won't need to reinstall it for each project. But if you want, you can just install it locally. So to check that the installation worked, you just need to type sol c, I think it's a JS, and I just press enter and see what it does say. Okay, wait a bit. Must provide a file. Okay, it works, so it means that I have it installed. So if you see something like this command cannot be found, it means that there is a problem with your install and you need to figure that out. Okay, so now we've installed the Solidity compiler. So another thing we can do is set up syntax highlighting in your text editor. So for the example, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, which is a modern text editor by Microsoft, which is very good for web development and JavaScript. So first I'm going to click on the extension menu. Then I'm going to search for the Solidity extension. Okay, so that's the first one. So I've already installed it on my computer, but if you haven't, you will see this green button here, install. So you just click it and it's going to install it. And after, there will be another button, which is reload. And after you reload it, your text editor, then you're going to enable the extension. So now that it's installed, let's test it on a Solidity contract. So I go here into File Explorer and click on this contract. Let's enlarge this a little bit. Okay, and so we can see that my text editor recognized the syntax of Solidity, so it's worked. Yeah, and we also have some suggestion here. Yeah, okay, works. So if you have other text editors such as Sublime Text or Vim, you can also find some extension for Solidity syntax highlighting. Next, you need an Ethereum client to be able to communicate with the network. So with Ethereum, you have many different options. There are implementation in many different languages. The main implementation is written in Go, The second most used one is written in Rust, and there are also implementation written in JavaScript or in Python. For most of those implementations, you can choose to connect either to the mainnet, which is the production network, or you can choose to connect to the testnet, which is, as the name implies, a network used for testing and for developing. However, I found that there is something even better than actually a lot of people don't know. It's an sort of a blockchain simulator written with Nodejs that mimic perfectly all the features of a normal Ethereum client, but it doesn't actually connect to a testnet. It just runs a blockchain in memory, and when you launch the network, it creates some test account that you control, and when you stop the process, then everything is forgotten, and you can just restart the blockchain as many times as you want. So that's really the option that offer the most flexibility, and I really recommend to use this for your development. For our tutorial on EatTheBlocks is what we're going to use. So let's jump to the console and install it. There is an npm package for it. So npm install, again, we set the global flag, ethereumjs-testrpc. Okay, let's wait a bit. So again, I've already installed it before, so it's just going to tell me that I already have it. But for you, it's probably going to take a bit more time. And once it has installed, then we again going to check that it's working well. So if you want to check that it's working well, then this time the command line is not really intuitive. It's called testrpc. So testrpc, enter. Okay, cool, it works. So here we can see that it created some account for me here. So I will be able to use all those accounts for my development, and below we can see that it also gives me all the private key. So it means that I control those accounts. Yeah, and it's listening on localhost port 8545. Okay, that's cool. Great, we have everything we need. First, we have the Solidity compiler, and then we have an Ethereum testnet client. Both of them are npm global package, so you can use them easily across different projects. So for our next project, we're going to create our obligatory Hello World smart contract. So stay tuned if you want to learn about this. If you like this channel, please subscribe. Thank you. See you for the next episode. Bye-bye.